Greetings, fellow Whovians. Well, hope you're all having a good week so far. Well, today, time to continue our look at the Fourth Doctor era with the Brain of Morbius. So, anyway, let's get started. On the planet card, an insect-like alien is killed by Kondo, a man with a hook for a hand, who takes his head to a castle and his master Solon. However, the head is unsuitable. Solon needs a head from a warm-blooded humanoid. Why? The TARDIS materializes in the middle of a lightning storm, and the Doctor rushes out, ranting at the Time Lords for diverting him to this planet. Sarah Jane finds the alien's escape pod and sees a valley filled with wrecked spacecraft, as well as the headless body of an alien which the Doctor identifies as a mutt. She and the Doctor make for a castle she spots. The travelers are welcomed by Solon, complimenting the Doctor on his magnificent head. Well, the Doctor does have a pretty good-looking head, if I do say so myself. Anyway. Meanwhile, the Sisterhood of Karn discovers the TARDIS and teleported to their temple. Their elderly leader, Marin, identifies it as a Time Lord vessel, and believes that the Doctor has come to steal their elixir of life. Why? And I don't think he knows what the elixir of life is, so there's that. The Doctor knows of Solon as an authority on microsurgical techniques and tissue transplant. The Doctor recognizes the clay bust as that of Morbius, one of the Time Lord's greatest criminals. Before he can say anything further, a drug takes effect, and the Doctor passes out. Sergio pretends she has succumbed. Good plan. In the laboratory, Solon's examination of the Doctor confirms he is the Time Lord. As he and Kondo leave the room, the Doctor vanishes. Sarah Jane keeps hidden and enters the lab. She draws back the curtain on the bed, thinking it is the Doctor, but as the lights come up, she sees a headless patchwork creature made from various body parts. Why does that sound so familiar? I wonder. Nah, I can't really place it. The Doctor regains consciousness to find himself surrounded by members of the Sisterhood. The Doctor realizes that just before he passed out, he felt the might of Morbius. Marin refuses to believe him. Why? Sarah Jane follows Solon and Kondo as they make their way towards the temple. They interrupt the ceremony, Solon asking them to spare the Doctor, or at least give him the Doctor's head. A disguised Sarah Jane frees the Doctor, but she's blinded by the energy from Marin's ring, the Doctor assuring her she will recover. Despite Sarah Jane telling him about the headless body, they return to the castle. The Doctor asks Solon to examine Sarah's eyes. Solon tells him that Sarah's retinas have been almost completely destroyed, but there is one chance, the elixir of life. The Doctor goes to the Sisterhood. Oh gee, I wonder if that plan is going to work out well. Elsewhere, Sarah Jane hears a voice calling for Solon. Following the sound, she enters a hidden laboratory and stumbles blindly towards a glowing brain in a tank, which accuses her of being sent by the Sisterhood to destroy it. Solon enters and drags her away. As she closes the door, she hears Solon address the voice as Morbius, and hears how Solon has set the Doctor into a trap. She locks Solon in the laboratory and, still blind, makes her way out of the castle. The Doctor is captured by the Sisterhood. When he explains why he came back, Marin tells him that the race effect is not permanent, and Solon knows that. The Doctor believes something evil related to Morbius is happening. Marin affirms that she saw Morbius dispersed. The Doctor asks if Solon was present. Morbius had led an army of mercenaries, promising them the elixir and immortality and revealing its existence to the cosmos. Sarah is captured and taken back to the castle. Learning the Doctor is a Time Lord, Morbius fears the Time Lords have tracked him down and will return in force. Morbius insists that he be transferred into the patchwork body now, with an artificial brain casing Solon constructed. Solon protests, as there may be severe pain and seizures, but Morbius insists. Back in the castle, Solon prepares to operate, but Kondo is enraged when he recognizes his lost arm attached to the patchwork body. He attacks Solon before being shot in the stomach. Their struggle knocking Morbius' brain to the floor. Not knowing what damage has been done, Solon places the fallen brain in the casing, releasing Sarah so she can assist in the operation. He threatens her into doing so, saying if Morbius dies, so does she. Bum bum bum. The wounded Kondo crawls into the hallway as outside the sisters carry the doctor's seemingly dead body through the lightning storm. In the meantime, the operation is finished. Within minutes, Morbius will live again. Oh no! Someone goes to answer the doorbell and sees the sisters leaving the doctor's body in the parlor. In the laboratory, Sarah's eyesight starts to clear. How? But the monstrous body Morbius gets off the operating table and lumbers towards her. Oh no! Sarah screams as she sees the Morbius creature and dodges out of the way. She warns Solon that the creature is loose and he runs back to the laboratory. Sarah notices the doctor's body, but as she approaches, the doctor wakes up and smiles at her. He is here to stop Solon, but Sarah tells him it is too late. But Morbius is revealed not to be in his right mind as he knocks Solon out and then the doctor. Morbius chases Sarah, but Kondo intervenes, knocking Sarah down the stairs into the cellar while he grapples with Morbius. However, Morbius is too strong, and kills Kondo instead. Morbius wanders out of the castle as the doctor regains consciousness. He carries Sarah into the secret laboratory to let her recover. Good plan. Solon, too, has awakened and assembles a tranquilizer gun. He tells the doctor that the operation was not complete. Only the motor functions are working, the rest on an instinctual level. Knowing Morbius' hatred, he will seek out the sisterhood. Okay. Sure enough, Morbius finds one of the sisters in some ruins nearby and kills her. The doctor and Solon find the body and they search the ruins. Morbius attacks the doctor, but is knocked out by Solon's tranquilizer. As they carry the creature back to the castle, the doctor tells Solon that Morbius' brain will be detached and returned to the Time Lords. Yeah, good plan. The body of the dead sister is brought back to Marin. Ohiko reports that witnesses saw a creature and then the doctor and Solon hunting for it. Marin realizes that Solon has succeeded in his experiments and resurrected their ancient enemy. But Marin is too old and weak to leave the shrine, as she gives Ohiko permission to lead the sisters to the castle. The doctor gives Solon 5 minutes to disconnect the brain as he goes and checks on Sarah. However, Solon locks him in the secret laboratory instead and begins to repair Morbius. Using materials from the secret laboratory, the doctor makes cyanogen gas, which he then pipes through a vent that leads to the operating room above. Though Solon dies from exposure to the gas upon finishing the operation, Morbius' lungs filter out the poison as he goes to confront Sarah and the doctor. He claims that when the knowledge of his resurrection spreads, his followers will rise in their millions. How exactly are they gonna know that? The doctor and Sarah mock Morbius in an attempt to overheat his brain, and then the doctor challenges him to a mind-bending contest. Oh, it's kind of interesting all the different challenges that have been done recently, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe the mind-bending challenge will be the new fad. They grab hold of the appropriate apparatus in the laboratory and begin. The machine's display begins to show Morbius' brain casing head, then his previous face, then the doctor's previous incarnation. After going through the doctor's previous incarnations, a series of 8 other faces are shown before Morbius' brain case shorts out. The doctor collapses as Morbius stumbles out in a daze. The sisterhood arrive and chase Morbius over a cliff, and Ohika finds Sarah crying over the doctor. Taking the doctor back to the shrine, Marin says only the elixir of life can save him, but there is none left. Why? However, the revived flame has gathered enough elixir. There is enough for the doctor, but not for Marin, who accepts that the doctor was right. There should be an end. The elixir is given to the doctor, who revives almost immediately. Marin steps into the flame of life, becoming younger, and then vanishes. Ohika starts to thank the doctor, but he stops her, saying that Sarah and he have another engagement. Before they leave, he gives a pair of curious objects in case they need to relight the flame again. When Ohika asks what they are, the doctor answers, "A mighty atom and a thunder flash." He explains that the writing on the cardboard tubes read, Light the blue touch paper and stand clear." This time, the TARDIS vanishes in a puff of light and smoke. Okay, that's new, I guess. So, yeah. Anyway, let's look at some production and other elements of this story. The original script was written by Terrence Dix, Using some ideas from a script of the stage play Doctor Who and the Daleks and the Seven Keys to Doomsday to a requirement from Hinchcliffe for a story about a human-slash-robot relationship. However, after delivery, Dix was out of the country when it was decided that the robot, core to the story, could not be realized under the budget constraints. In exercising the character, script editor Robert Holmes had to undertake the substantial rewrites without informing Dix, who could not be contacted. The robot character was replaced with Solon, who required a different motivation, that of a mad scientist. Dix later said of the decision that it was not original, but was the, quote, only one available. Upon his return to the United Kingdom, Dix learned of the changes and angrily phoned Holmes. Since the work was more Holmes than his own, Dix demanded the removal of his name from the credits, saying it could go out under a, quote, bland pseudonym. This ended up being the name Robin Bland. The episodes were recorded entirely in studios during October 1975. Phil Maddock had already appeared in the Crotons in the War Games and would appear afterwards in The Power of Kroll. He also had a role in the film Daleks, Invasion Earth 2150 AD, and appeared in the audio plays Master and Return of the Crotons. Colin Fay was a fortunate find for the production team. An opera singer by trade, he was a large man and, as a newcomer to television, cheap to hire. Other cost-cutting included hiring only a single professional dancer who was copied in the scenes by the actresses who had been chosen because of previous dancing experience. Interesting. During the Doctor's mental battle with Morbius, the mind-bending machine displays 2 images of Morbius, then images of the Doctor's 4 incarnations as of the serial's production. These are followed by images of 8 previously unseen faces, intended to represent incarnations preceding the first Doctor. The Doctor's faces are portrayed by production unit manager George Jalacchio, script editor Robert Holmes, production assistant Graham Harper, director Douglas Canfield, producer Philip Hinchcliffe, production assistant Christopher Baker, writer Robert Banks Stewart, and director Christopher Barry. Hinchcliffe stated, quote, "We tried to get famous actors for the faces of the Doctor, but because no one would volunteer, we had to use backroom boys. It is true to say that I attempted to imply that William Hartnell was not the first Doctor. After a complaint, the BBC paid a sum of money to the Actors Union Equity Benevolent Fund." The season 14 story, The Deadly Assassin, introduced the idea that Time Lords are limited to 12 regenerations, with the number being confirmed in the season 18 story, The Keeper of Traken. Attempts to retrofit this fact with the number of faces seen in the Mind Test machine have brought about explanations, including the possibility that the faces were Morbius's previous incarnations, younger versions of the first Doctor, or the Doctor's potential future incarnations. The Virgin Missing Adventure Cold Fusion by Lance Parkin implies that one of these prior Doctors was the incarnation of the Doctor active at the time of the birth of Susan Foreman. However, the subsequent Virgin New Adventures novel Lungbarrow says that Hartnell's Doctor was the first, implying instead that the faces represent incarnations of the other, one of the founders of Time Lord civilization, of whom the Doctor is the reincarnation. That's actually very interesting. It has been suggested there are many thematic links to Mary Shelley's novel Frankenstein, and particularly to the James Whale Frankenstein film released by Universal Studios. Yeah, especially with Patrick Creature, yeah, I can definitely see that. So, overall, this is a pretty entertaining story, and, well, since it is October, I guess it could be one to watch around Halloween time. So, overall, I give The Brain of Morbius 4 sonic screwdrivers out of 5. Well, join me next week as we take a look at the Seeds of Doom. Let's just say that whatever's going to come out of those seeds is not going to be pretty. Anyway, so, until next week, this is Hoovian Queen saying, "Oh my giddy aunt, when I say run, run, I've reversed the polarity of the neutron flow. Would you like a jelly baby? Fantastic. Allons-y, Geronimo!" Bow ties are cool, fezzes are cool, and Stetsons are cool.